Alright guys, welcome back to Mr. Marlowe's online math class for 6th grade. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 22, which is one-step equations in the real world. My target for today is I can calculate missing angle measures by writing and solving equations. Okay, so before we get started, we need to do a little bit of review. We're going to review the different types of angles. Okay, remember an acute angle is one that's less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is one that's between 90 and 180. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees, and it has this little square to indicate that it's a right angle. Okay. A straight line is exactly 180 degrees. And a reflex angle is one that's between 180 and 360 degrees. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys today how to use algebra to solve for missing angles. Let's take a look at example number 1 here. Example number 1 says solve for x, and it's got all this confusing looking stuff here, but it's not that confusing. I know that this angle right here is 57 degrees. Right? I know that this whole angle right here, right, is equal to 90 degrees because it has this little box telling me that it's a right angle. Okay, that little box indicates that it's a 90-degree angle. So I have 57 degrees. This whole thing right here is worth 90, and then this part right here is what we need to find, and it's marked with an X. Okay? So, if I know that this is 57 degrees, and this is some number, I know that these two angles have to add up to 90. I have angle 1 that's 57 degrees, some unknown angle that we're going to call x, and if I add these two things together, it's going to equal 90. So, how could we write an equation to describe what's happening here and to solve for the missing variable? Well, I have 57 degrees plus some number, which we're going to call x, is equal to what? Well, it's equal to 90. Again, just to reiterate, these two angles have to add to 90. Okay? Because this line is splitting this 90-degree angle into two. All right? So I get 57 plus x equals 90. All right? Well, just like in all our last videos, I need to isolate the variable, right? And 57 is being added to x, so I want to perform the inverse operation. So I'm going to subtract 57 from either side. 57 minus 57, well, that's 0. So on the left, I'm just left with an x. And then over on the right, well, I can't subtract 7 from 0, so I'm going to have to borrow. 10 minus 7 is 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. So x is equal to 33. Okay. Now, how can we check this? Well, we can check it by adding 33 to 57 and seeing if we come up with 90. Remember, these two angles have to add to 90. So let's check that out. I got 57 plus 33, which was my x. That should equal 90. Well, 7 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So, this is indeed my answer. The measure of that angle is 33 degrees. Put a little degree sign up there just to be totally accurate. Okay? Let's take a look at another one. Michelle is designing a parking lot and has determined one of the angles should be 115 degrees. What is the measure of x and y? Okay, cool. Well, if this line, remember, what did we say, how many degrees are in a straight line? A straight line has exactly 180 degrees. So I know that this line right here has to be 180 degrees. That equals 180 degrees, that angle right there. Okay. Now, if this angle, well, this line going through, cutting this line in half, is creating two angles. And we know that those two angles, when added together, have to equal 180. Okay, so over on the right here, we have 115 plus some number x is equal to what? It has to be equal to 180. Just like the previous question, we're going to perform the inverse operation. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. And then over on the right side here, to borrow. So I get 180 minus 115 is 65. 0 plus x, well that's just x. So x is equal to 65 degrees. Okay. Now it wants me to also solve for y. Well, here's y, right? Here's a straight line and another line splitting this line in half, right? So this line right here, again, is 180 degrees because it's a straight line. So I know that 115 plus some number y has to equal, again, 180. Well, isn't that exactly what we just did over here? Right? We had 115 plus x equals 180. We figured out that x is equal to 65. So if we had the same question over here, what is y equal to? Y is also going to be equal to 65 degrees. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, reach out to me on during my Zoom office hours, email, or on Remind. Today's lesson was lesson 22, one-step equations in the real world. And our target was I can calculate missing angle measures by writing and solving equations. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.